Hello. Shit. Hello. Hello. As you can tell, I'm not quite comfortable yet filming myself, but here goes. My name is David Ibanda, and this is the podcast / YouTube channel, Those Who Came Before Us. I think that'll do. This is somewhat of a different episode than usual. A friend of mine told me that Disney made an animated short on a Bunyoro folktale that I told in episode 2. He said his son was watching it and remembered the characters from episode 2 of the podcast episode. I thought that was really cool, and he gave me the idea to perhaps say something about it. So, here I am. Shout out to you, Clayton. It would also be a good way for me to reintroduce myself to you guys, since it's been a year. I know, it's been a long time, but I'm not gone. Don't worry. I'm still here working on episodes, and there'll be a lot more coming later on this year. I promise. You'll also be seeing a lot more of this face. So if you didn't know what I look like, this is what I look like. So anyways, let's get started. Kizazi Moto Generation Fire is a 6-episode animated anthology series that tells Afrofuturistic stories from several African countries. There is one from Uganda, one from Kenya, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Egypt, and Nigeria. Can you guess which one I'm going to talk about today? Uganda, of course. Uganda for life, boy! Now, I love this series for the very fact that it showcases Africans doing fun, interesting, and unique things. It allows us to fantasize and escape, time travel, aliens. These are things that aren't typically shown involving African characters or shown in an African setting. Because I used to wonder when I was a kid that how come aliens only visited America? Really? What do I have to do to get visited by an alien? Now, I'm sure there are many African stories out there with these elements, but it's nice to see a big studio like Disney embrace the African audience who would be most interested in this and also introduce these stories to the wider world. So episode 1 is titled Herder Boy and is set in the Chwezi Highlands. Yes, Chwezi as in the Bachwezi. The pantheon of gods who are believed to have heralded a great empire spanning almost the entirety of present-day Uganda. The story is written and directed by Raymond Malinga. Malinga previously did an animated short called A Kalabanda Ate My Homework.
Good morning, Mr. Orchid.
Sit down. One of you did not hand in your homework. And these books don't have any names on them.
Which was so funny because as someone who went to boarding school in Uganda, that was my experience. You can check out the short on YouTube. Now, in these Chwezi Highlands, we're introduced to our main cast to consist of 1, Katono, played by Florence Kasumba of Black Panther fame. She's the one who blew the crowd away with her one line,
"Move, or you will be moved."
Mwah! And with that, a legend was born. She was the introduction to the Dora Milaje, setting them up as this intimidating force that will absolutely kick your ass. Her character Katono, with her cybernetic eye, also showcases the same fierceness of her Dora Milaje role. She wields what looks like a futuristic herding stick that can also change form into a kind of whip. I am happy to see her in anything. The next member of the trio is a man called Dushime, voiced by Ugandan comedian Idringi Patrick Salvador. His character looks like an African Rick Ross. He's funny, jokey, and exaggerates his escapades. He is a great contrast to Florence Kasumba's Katono. Then we have Isingoma, voiced by another comedian, Omara Daniel. Isingoma is a robot with a giant sombrero-like hat and detachable hands. He is logical and rigid. Isingoma acts as the group's censor for spirits. He is seen using some form of arrow-shaped energy projectiles as a weapon. These 3 are sent to the highlands to herd these machine cows and harvest not milk, but some kind of crystal from their horns. I think it's what powers their weapons. I liked how they emphasized the relationship the Betrezi had with their cows, because if you listen to those podcast episodes, you'll know how much the Betrezi loved their cows. And I guess in this futuristic world, this is how their relationship evolved. It's giving me Horizon Zero Dawn vibes, the PlayStation game where you hunt these mechanical dinosaurs with prehistoric weapons in a post-apocalyptic landscape. That game was a lot of fun. And it turns out that they protect the herd from these spirits that are really machine bots that are oozing red energy that corrupt the blue energy from the cow crystals. The main antagonist is Nyamnyonga, who is described as a hyena-like machine robot that attacks the cows. Much different from the underworld king who traps his nemesis Kizazi of the original folktale. Nyamnyonga is voiced by John Olsen, a voice actor who has no photos but has a considerable body of work. Now, we are also introduced to our protagonist in Ndahura, a young herder boy eager to prove himself, voiced by Kono Blair Matthias Wonders. Keeping in line with his folktale counterpart, Ndahura displays a daring spirit and an inability to follow orders. He wasn't supposed to be there, but figures he can help. Much to the consternation of the three main cast, Florence Kasumba's Katono in particular is not having it. The story here is simple and straightforward. We get a brief glimpse into the work of our heroes as the episode is only 12 minutes, but it establishes Ndahura as well on his way to earning a spot on the Spirit Hunter team, which I guess you can call them that. The story borrowed a few elements from the original folktale and mixed them around to form a new adventure. I honestly like it. I hope other studios give more chances to African storytellers because there's a lot of potential here. So, check out Kizazi Moto on Disney Plus if you're looking for something different for your kids to watch. I honestly think you'll enjoy it. Anyways, that's all I gotta say for today. And my name is David Ibanda, and this is the podcast Those Who Came Before Us.